Okay, so I'm just going to be cleaning up a live trace. So what that means is um, that the live trace that I've done, I'm not quite happy with the results of. So for example, in here, the wing thins off a bit. In here, it's a bit fat. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I don't actually want this shape in my finished job, so I'm just going to go in and double click till I get down to that grouping. So it's only one layer down in the groups, and I can see I've still got my white in there, so I just want to get rid of that too. Alright, so now I've just got the butterfly. Now what I want to do is I just want to clean up some of these areas. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pen tool to just draw the shape over the top of. Okay, so I'm just going to be working in the same color. So I'm just going to get my eyedropper tool and get the black. Now, visually that works, but the laser cutter would actually interpret these as 3 separate shapes, and it would either cut them all separately or etch them all separately, depending on whether they were black or red. So what I actually want to have is one shape in there. So the way I achieve that is using my Pathfinder tool. I bring up my Pathfinder tool by going Windows Pathfinder, and I merge those. Now that's just one shape. Okay. Over here, I want to subtract a bit. So just from looking at this, I know that the easiest way to subtract would be just to draw my shape in. Okay. So now I'm just going to divide with my Pathfinder tool and delete those extra shapes. Now I think down here, this area in here is a bit fat and awkward, so I'm going to use my knife tool. I'm just going to drag it around to cut there. And just keep double clicking until you get down to that right shape. Okay. Alright, so that's my finished work. Now, there's one other thing I need to do. Well, there's 2 other things I need to do before I'm finished and ready to cut. So, what I first need to do is I need to convert my file to be understandable by the laser cutter, and that is to use RGB colors, red for cutting, black for etching. Now I would want to cut this shape, so what I want to do is I want to have no fill. Well, actually what I need to do first is get rid of these shapes up here. So double click until I'm in the right part of the group. Just make sure I got all of that. Yep, okay. Now what I need to do is I need to select the shape. I want no fill, and I want an RGB red stroke. I want that stroke to be 0.001. Now, you might think your work is ready to print now, but if you zoom in, you can see that there's a couple of different thicknesses in here that Illustrator is showing. So the first obvious mistake is I didn't delete one of these shapes in here when I was creating, cutting my paths out. All right. Now the next is to look for where those double thickness lines are occurring. Now there's a couple of ways of doing that. What you could do is you can just do it visually and just drill down until you get to the shapes and delete them. The other thing you can do is you can go into your layers. Now these are your layers, but I actually, yep, these are my layers, and it demonstrates my groups here. Now I know that I just want this shape. Oh, I'm going to double click to get into the groups. I want this shape, holding down Shift to select additional ones, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So in my layers palette, the ones with the double circle are the ones that are selected. Now what I can do is I can go select, inverse, and that selects everything that I haven't asked it to select. Sorry, everything that I haven't shift selected, and I'm going to delete those. Now I still have a few extras in there, and I can see those appearing here. So I can delete them. Nope, that's not an extra. They're appearing inside these groups. So again, I need to go inside this group, and I want just to select the top layer. Now I want to go select inverse. Oh, that's got the rest of the artwork. Alright, so it looks like I'm just going to have to do it manually on this application, or I can go through, actually no, I can select them and just delete this way. It's up to you how you go about doing it, but you really don't want the laser cutter doing multiple cuts because it's going to burn your wood if it's cutting through spaces twice. So just Control Z to undo that. And it looks like that's my file prepped now. Okay. So that's prepped and ready for printing.